everybody. Welcome to another episode of Coming Up Milhouse. This episode is from season 3. It's episode 15 called Bart the Lover.
So, as the title suggests, Bart, gets some romance going, but it's in the form of Mrs. Krabappel. So we find out that Mrs. Krabappel is lonely, and she, does one of them personal ads, and Bart gets wind of it, and he creates a persona and sends her letters. He thinks it's funny, but turns out that was not a very nice thing to do. Mrs. Krabappel gets sad when she can't actually meet this great man named Woodrow, based on Woodrow Wilson, which is hilarious in the picture in the classroom. And so then they got to rectify that somehow. So that's what the main plot of the episode is. But there's a lot of funny jokes dispersed throughout this. It is a very funny episode.
It is a really funny episode. It was hard to come up with some great lines.
Yeah, it's hard to pick.
There's a lot going on.
A lot to do, yeah.
It's good. So, what's your first favorite line?
So, my first favorite line begins with a conversation between Marge and Homer, and it has to do with this subplot going on where the kids at the schools discover yo-yos, and everyone in the school is crazy about it, and Bart's actually really good at it, and so Homer assumes that he's going to make a lot of money on Bart being great at yo-yos, and Marge says, name one person that's gotten rich doing yo-yos, and Homer thinks about it, and a voiceover that Homer's thinking is a list, and it's Donald Trump, Arnold Palmer, Bill Cosby, don't. And so, Donald Trump, Arnold Palmer, fine,
Yeah,
he's not in the news, but then Cosby, it's like, okay, I gotta go with this one.
That's too funny.
Yeah, so there was, the fact that this thing is 30 years old.
I know, and it's kind of
and
relevant.
here we are, and those names are relevant today. I had to throw it in.
It's really ridiculous. I know. Timeless. The Simpsons, especially their early episodes, are timeless.
Very timeless, yeah. What do you got for your first line?
Kids, this is a yo-yo. Kind of dull, huh? Not much competition for a video game. Or is it? That was from the school special where they bring out this yo-yo
guru guy
onto the stage, and then the Yoyo AllStars come out and show off, and the one girl has yo-yo earrings, and the yo-yos are...
And they're playing the Age of Aquarius, and there's lasers, and the kids are all like... Oh, wow, I never heard of you.
It's like the best school presentation ever. It's so funny. So, yeah.
That whole yo-yo subplot was hilarious because they make these people, younger people that are doing yo-yos great look like stars, and then they shove them into a van full of boxes of yo-yos they're selling.
I know.
And they're like curled up like this because there's no room.
Right.
It's like a joke on the dark side of show business kind of thing. That was great.
True.
Alright, so my second line is from Marge. So there's this deal also in the episode where Homer has a little bit of a potty mouth going on, and it affects Rod and Todd and the Flanders. And Flanders, makes a little bit of a Flanders-esque complaint about it. And then, so Marge is trying to explain to Homer why maybe he does have this problem, and Homer's like, well, I'm too old to change, and her line is, well, my father got out of the Navy. He used to curse a blue streak. Nearly cost him his job as a baby photographer. So my imagination's like filled with this image of Marge's sailor dad taking pictures of babies and screeching curses at him, that made me laugh enough that I had to put it out there.
Absolutely.
What do you got?
Well, because of that subplot, Flanders is trying to figure out where Todd is picking up these curse words, and so he's going through a list, and Todd's watching Gomer Pyle, and the Flanders couple is having a conversation of, is this all he watches? And Well, he used to watch Davy and Goliath, but he thought the idea of a talking dog was blasphemy.
They are so, like, devout, you know.
I know.
You can't watch Davy and Goliath.
But Davy and Goliath.
I know.
It's
a religious show.
Religious cartoons back in the day.
Yeah,
it was too funny.
It was meant to teach religion, not push it away. From,
right.
You know, so that was funny.
So on Ned's mission to try and figure out where Todd's picking up this potty mouth.
And I love that list he had. It was like
Yeah.
bumper stickers, comic books, TV, you know.
Yeah.
Bumper stickers.
Brother. I know.
He's learning cursing from bumper stickers. No, cross that. that whole cursing subplot was great. All right, what about scenes? You want to give me your scene?
So, I'm gonna go with the Yoyo presentation at the school because, you know, all these college-age students are on the stage showing off their yo-yo tricks, and it looks amazing. And then they pull Skinner out on the stage and special guest star, and for, you know, I don't know, 5 minutes, the students are kind of enthralled by him as well, which is probably his only chance of limelight in the entire 30 seasons of.
But he looks so uncomfortable. He's like
so uncomfortable,
and they're shooting.
They tell him not to move. It's very dangerous. He could get really hurt if he moves. And there's yo-yos going, buzzing around his nose and head. And it was just, I love that scene. I love the whole yo-yo angle of this episode, I guess. So, but I love that in particular.
Very good. All right, so my scene is the very first scene in the episode. They just hit the ground running. So they're playing this film reel in school. And we've all seen those. And when they make fun of it on The Simpsons, they're hilarious because there's a little bit of reality in the way they're produced, you know. But it's this guy who apparently wished that Zinc didn't exist for some reason, and it's this PSA about how important Zinc is. And he's like, and it's like a teenager. I can't remember his name. I didn't write it down, but it's Billy or something like that.
It's Jimmy.
Or it's Jimmy. All right, thanks. So Jimmy's like trying to start his car, and he's like. And there's some guy that's like, well, you can't start your car because the connections for your battery are made of zinc.
Oh, zinc.
And he's like, oh, I better call Jenny and let her know I'm going to be late. Well, you can't call Jenny because the rotary mechanism is made of zinc. And he's like, what have I done? And he gets a gun, and it clicks. He's like, well, that gun's not going to work, Jenny, because the firing pin is, you guessed it, made of zinc. And he's like, no. And then he wakes up out of a nightmare. He had a nightmare.
Zinc, come back, Zinc.
Yeah. And then they're like, aren't we glad we live in a world where there is cars, telephones, handguns? Thank you, Zinc. You know, the whole Zinc thing. I'm like, this episode is starting off great. I am dying. This is so funny. So that I had to put that as my scene. All right. Zinc. Good stuff.
Well, let's start with losers then.
Okay, well, my loser, if you know, I'll go first because it kind of jumps on what you said with your favorite scene. And my loser is Skinner because he looks so uncomfortable with them yo-yos coming at him. And he got annoyed and he's like, ow, that one clipped my ear. And then the guy said, well, don't move. It's very dangerous. So Skinner, he didn't look like he was enjoying that, and he got his ear clipped. And he was very close to getting some serious injury, it looked like. So that's why I went with Skinner.
Well, mine goes along with yours because my loser is Jimmy.
Jimmy! That's why you had the name down.
Because Jimmy had a bad dream that we lived in a world without zinc. And just as a PSA reminder, everybody, zinc is very important. And we want to live in a world with zinc.
We just crisscrossed on that one. That was great.
And who's your winner?
My winner is Flanders.
Okay.
Because of the whole cursing subplot, Flanders goes to Homer to ask him to stop, and Homer implies that there's a problem with Flanders' mustache. So Flanders goes and shaves off his mustache, and then in another scene he's like, hey, great advice on the mustache. I got cast in a commercial as soon as I cut it off. And these checks keep rolling in. So Flanders, man, he got a commercial deal. He's getting paid all from the mustache
big
coming
bucks,
off.
right, for shaving a mustache.
So I went with Flanders.
Well, my winner is also from that subplot, Santa's Little Helper, because Homer has to go with the swear jar, and all of the money that was collected in the swear jar ends up buying Santa's Little Helper a new doghouse, and Homer a 6-pack of beer.
Right.
But Santa's Little Helper wins out with a new doghouse.
And Santa's Little Helper didn't end up with that crummy
I know,
doghouse
right?
that Homer was trying to
Yep,
build.
that didn't have an opening
No.
for him to get in, and looked like it was going to fall apart any second.
So yes, absolutely, very good one. Santa's a Little Helper, Flanders, winners of the episode.
Winners.
All right, well, you got anything else?
You are all winners for watching this episode of Coming Up Milhouse. So if you liked what we had to say and you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It's in the bottom corner here. And give us a like. Feel free, as always, to make comments, share your favorite moments of this episode, and let us know what you think of the show.
All right, well, thanks again for watching, and until the next time,
Jiminy
Jillikers!